Hi, everyone. My name is Lynette Davis, the chief blogger over at asummermoon.com, and I want to welcome you to my 5th annual blog interview series, Black History Now, a series of exclusive interviews with local Black entrepreneurs who are here to just share some wisdom and drop some knowledge down on us about what it's like to be a Black entrepreneur right now making history. So I want to introduce to you my very special guest, Florcy Morisset, who is the owner of Vivant Art Collection. I was trying to pronounce that right because I know that it is French, and I'm going to let Florcy talk more about that. So, Florcy, welcome.
Thank you, Lynette. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. I'm so happy to have you here with us. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. I am a curator as well as a consultant, an art consultant. I basically travel the world, and I buy art and I resell it. I am influenced by African diasporic art that tells stories of our history and our culture, and my goal is to inspire, empower, and really share and celebrate cultural art. In addition, I have a consulting firm in which I am an independent consultant as well as a marketing curator, and I curate programs. Vivant is descriptive of all of those things. It's vibrant. It is live, exuberant, and that is what I do. And it's growing, interestingly enough, and it's growing.
Awesome. I love that. So speaking of growing, I know that, once upon a time, because I was very privileged and honored to come and visit the art gallery when it was stationed in Philadelphia, not too long ago, because I know now that it has evolved into more of a location-independent gallery. But when you did have the gallery stationed, because I want to say it was stationed and now it's mobile. When you did have it, awesome. So when you did have it there, what was that like? What prompted you to even begin that art gallery and start that type of business?
Wow. Well, I was prompted by a lot of negative images of Haiti, and I really wanted to dispel the media image of Haiti as being this poor, politically stricken country, and I wanted to celebrate our history as the first Black republic. I wanted to show people how we have sandy beaches and we have a beautiful culture, and I thought that I could create this affinity through images. And it opened so many doors for me in the sense that it allowed me to realize that there were so many other countries that were underrepresented and that needed to be celebrated, especially in the traditional art gallery world and museum world. And I've been blessed to be able to not only was located on Gallery Row in Old City, but the fact that it was very well received. It became the space became a meeting space for politicians, book writers, authors who wanted to host a reception, wedding receptions. It became a space where the art was a portal to a different culture and a different world, and people wanted to engage and they wanted to, learn about the art, or they just wanted to be simply a backdrop. But the art was very powerful, and I really believe that there were a lot of stories and a lot of people that were touched.
Awesome. So now I touched on it a little bit, but I know that it had to have been a difficult decision to leave being a stationary gallery, especially if that was something that you saw from the beginning, and wanting to evolve into now even more so an international brand that could touch people all over the world, and they didn't have to step foot in a brick-and-mortar place, but now they can step foot into your virtual world. So, what were the first steps that you took towards making that a reality?
Oh, wow. So, this transition, I had the gallery for 7 years. I was living in Philadelphia for a total of 8 years. So, I was a transplant that was embraced by the brotherly love and sisterly affection, and it became my home. But I think when I hit my 5-year mark, I started thinking about the future of the gallery and my future as well. And I started thinking about Philadelphia being my home forever. I thought about I thought about just the gallery. Where would I go? And so many people were like, "You hit the 5-year mark. It means so much." And while I did hit that mark, and it was met longevity, I felt that the art world and the business world was moving very fast into the technology and digital age. And I felt somewhat limited having a brick and mortar. I couldn't travel all the time. I had to be at the space, or, it was, you have to technically be open to be able to receive folks. And so there was a lot in terms of obligation. So my first thought, because I thought about it 2 years before I decided to transition online, I said, you know what, I'm going to build a website. And it took me about 6 months, and we built this really amazing website. And that was the first step. And not knowing exactly what I was going to, I wasn't even sure if I was going to transition or not, but I knew that I needed to generate revenue online and create a presence to reach a larger audience. So that was my first step. Then after, the pieces started to kind of shift together and move forward, and more opportunities presented itself to me. And I said, you know what? I prepared for this. This is part of my vision planning, and I'm gonna walk in faith and move forward.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely, it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I bet that you had to probably overcome some people going, "What are you doing? And why are you doing it?" When they're used to things being a certain way.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct with that statement. I think the biggest challenge for myself was to say, Florcy, why are you doing it? And once I came to terms with that, I made sure I built a team around me. I worked with a content manager who focuses on storytelling. And we worked to really deliver this message well. Like, although the physical space is closing, that my presence in Philadelphia will remain. I'm on a couple of boards in Philadelphia, and I have strong ties to the community. And so I really focused on that. But the first step for me was to understand that this wasn't the end. It was a continuation to be able to do more and have a greater impact for the city of Philadelphia that has become my home and a part of the reason I am who I am. So it wasn't going to be an easy feat, but I knew that once I understood what I was doing and how to really manage those thoughts and feelings, I was able to easily express that. And I surprisingly was received very well. Griot Digital, they really helped to really magnify the messaging and saying that, no, this is just a continuation to the big story. A lot of people think, oh, a chapter is ending. No, the chapter doesn't end. The book shall continue. So that's my thoughts and feelings about it.
Awesome, Florcy. So thank you so much for sharing that. So I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit here. So one of the things on my blog that, one of the big reasons why I kind of started this series and everything, because at the time I was trying to discover my own version of success. So one of the things that I wanted to do, because at heart I'm a researcher. So one of the questions I always ask those who I interview who have achieved certain things that, I never thought that I could do or I didn't see myself doing, and when I found them, it was like, yes, I got to pick their brain a bit. So let me pick your brain a little bit here. So how do you define and measure success? How do you define success on your own terms?
I define success by small steps. Every step that I make towards this bigger goal. And I don't measure my success by the grandeur, meaning, oh, you opened a gallery and so you're successful. No, it's a bigger piece. It's a bigger story. And while I know that as a young 34-year-old, there's so much more work that I have to do, and that I have accomplished a lot. And a lot of people, it's touched a lot of people, and I've been touched by it. But more so than anything, it's just really knowing that every step is a bigger step to my goals, my mission, my purpose, and even including my failures. That was part of the path and the journey to success. So I look at everything as one whole big picture. I know it sounds very heady and and analytical, but I don't try to say it's one thing. I'm the queen of short-term goals. So right now it's getting through midterms, and to me that will be a success. But it's a goal to this bigger picture. Even once I graduate, it's one step to a bigger picture, and I don't know what that bigger picture is. So, I just celebrate every small accomplishment that I finish and complete.
Awesome. And I think that's the way to go. We're ever evolving as people, as women, as business women. We're ever evolving. And I guess, we can sit there and we can dream and we can have vision, but, all of that becomes maybe like a big plan, and then it becomes the strategy, and then it becomes small action steps. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, also as somebody in their early 30s. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, I could go on because there's so much that we can talk about. But I like to keep this short and sweet so that people can get a bit of a nugget, and then if they want more, they can reach out, because I know that you do that consulting work. So before we do that, I should say before we leave off of this call, can you tell those who are listening and those who find my blog, what's the best way to get in contact with you? Because they might want to know a little bit more and truly pick your brain, but the thorough way, which is to seek, your consulting services. And especially those who are artists, because they might go, okay, she has this awesome gallery, and she learns how to transition in the face of what's going on, and they might want to get to know you better. So how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach you?
Okay. The best way to reach me is via my website, which is Vivant, VIVANT, Art Collection. .com. On there, you'll find all the portals to my social media, which I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a newsletter that I put out. I have a blog that I put out a lot of information. And I really do respond, but email and social media is the best way to get in contact with me. I manage all of my accounts, so I make sure that I talk to everyone. So I look forward to hearing from anyone that wants to connect.
Awesome. And just before we go, I just said that, but
it's okay.
one more wisdom nugget. What's one more final piece of advice you would love to give those who are tuning in that are aspiring entrepreneurs?
My piece of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs would be, I don't want to scare people, but I feel like we are living in difficult and troubling times. And I believe there are so many opportunities to really change the world. And I feel like as a business owner, and as we look at social entrepreneurs and best practices, if you can find a way to make sure that your business has a purpose that is fueling love, a health consciousness, a higher intellect power, that it will not only be enriched, it will have purpose, it will be a business that will be driven by this idea of bettering the world. I'm one of those people that money shall come. Money will come. Money will come and it will go. But what defines your success? Back to your question. And when you stand at the pearly gates, you get to say, well, what have I done? And you're asked, what have I done? And you'll have the opportunity to say that I had a business that impacted the world in a positive way. I had a business that impacted my community. I had a business that was a reflection of who I was and what I believed. And so when thinking about your business, think about your mission. Think about your goals. But keep in mind of the mission and goals for this country as well. And I empower people to envision grandeur, think big. So that's my piece of advice.
Awesome. And that's a wonderful piece of advice. And this is from somebody who has been in this game, what did you say, about at least 7 years?
Yes.
So, yeah, I would say it's worth noting and listening to. And, not because of that, but because I also agree. I totally agree with that. And, it's about the why. So,
yeah, agreed.
Florcy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. I was just going to say, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And were you about to say something else?
No, I was just going to say, this is just such a great conversation. A lot of times, when you're having these interviews, you've asked some great questions that really get to the heart of who we are and what are we doing. What is our success? What defines our success? It's not just about the simple accolades. And so, yes, I'm just applauding and reflecting as we talk. So thank you, because it's an opportunity for me to remember why I do what I do. So I'm just thank you.
Awesome. That makes me feel good because, that's what I'm here for. So awesome. So, I call that synergy. We were just blending our superpowers together and creating something awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll have all of Florcy's information over on summermoon.com. And, as long as the Summer Moon exists, so will this interview on that site. So you can always tune in and find out more information. I implore you to reach out to Florcy if you have questions about this. If you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't even have to be an artist-based entrepreneur, but just to want to reach out to somebody who has been there and done that. And there's a few steps ahead of you. Go ahead and reach out to her. Reach out to her and the other entrepreneurs that I've interviewed that you resonated with. And then, again, stay tuned. So until next time, peace.